All right, welcome. Today we're going to talk about fish that we've wanted to keep and haven't kept yet. I'll give you some of mine. Hopefully, here's some of yours. And for this specific reason, Sparrows Swims says, looking forward to this live, getting ready to stock a 55-gallon and hoping to hear some ideas. That is exactly the point of this discussion, is to just give some ideas for people and maybe learn about some fish that they've never had before, and just have some fun. Let's get this out of the way as well too. John says, are those Steenfott, talking about the thumbnail? They are Tropheus, and that is my fish that I have not kept, that I really do want to keep. So I'm going to start off first. We're going to go Tropheus. Get yours ready for when I call on you. And but yeah, so I've kept Tropheus here and there, picked some up at an auction, but I've always ended up, never sticking with them, never growing them out. And I really want to do like a large tank, so I've got my 300-gallon acrylic tank, and I think it would look really sweet with like 50 Tropheus swimming all over the place. Now, generally speaking, you only want to do one species of Tropheus, so I don't know if it's something I would get tired of really fast, but maybe I can add some shell dwellers down the road or something else. But I thought he meant the Gobies in the little pre-show video. Oh, that could be it. But the name of those Gobies are on the video, so I assume the thumbnail. I don't know. I always get asked what the fish in the thumbnail is, and it's a Tropheus. So now people don't have to ask. Randy, what's going on, buddy? Can't stay, but we'll be on replay. Have a good Steeny McStreamy. Thank you, Amanda. I appreciate it. So yeah, let me know. I want to know what some of your fish are. Another one of mine would be, oh my gosh, it's another Lake Tanganyikan. Oh my gosh, what? I'm totally drawing a blank. Okay, we'll have to come back to mine. It'll pop in my head here eventually, at some point, hopefully. I have 3 tanks of Tropheus, fun fish to keep. Mine have bred quite readily. Mike, Fish Tank Barn, what species of Tropheus do you have? Maybe I can, buy some fry from you. Marianne says Inca, Apistogramma Inca 50. I gotta find the reason of this name. Apistogramma Inca 50. Like, what's the 50? What's with the 50? I don't know. That's the common name. Benshai, Apistogramma benshai would be the scientific name. That's an absolutely beautiful fish. I highly recommend it if you can find some. Fish Tank Barn, yes. Benthachromis tricotti. That's it. The Benthachromis tricotti. You all know more than I do. Yes, the Benthachromis tricotti. And honestly, like, if I could find a pair of those, when it comes time to set up that 300-gallon acrylic, if I could find those anywhere, because they are a big fish, they get like 12 inches. But if I could find them for a reasonable price, I would absolutely buy them. Otherwise, it's going to be Tropheus. Zen Ginger says, right, you're thinking like me, Mike. You can ship Bob some Tropheus. All right, I like it. Daryl Deemer, what's going on, buddy? Good to see you. Ruben says, my favorites are darters, especially the green-sided and orange throat darters, but I can't have those because they are native, and New York will send trained assassins if I have native fish. That's true. The Fish Tank Barn says, the Tropheus I have are red Bemba, Malero red, and Mpalunga. All very nice. So, yeah. Mitchell Broom says, someday I want to get around to feather fins. What's with the scientific name on the feather fins? Ophthalmotilapia ventralis. That's some word. some word. But yeah, I could go for some feather fins. I think I've gotten feather fins once in my life. I'm not positive though. I'm pretty sure. I talked about them briefly in the last stream, and I was like, I don't think I've ever kept feather fins. But now that I've thought about it a little bit, I think I did have feather fins like 5 years ago. I couldn't tell you what species. I recently got 5 baby Panagara. They have become a fast favorite of mine. I highly recommend Panagara. If there is a someone out there with a community tank or something that's like, what else can I get? Definitely Panagara. They're such fun little amazing fish. Aussies offish. Aussies offish. Aussies offish. Welcome. That name got me. I can't even pretend that it didn't. I have too many windows open here. Let me fix this real quick. Sorry. Should have closed out all these windows before the stream. Okay. All right. Close. All right. Aussies off fish. Welcome back. I appreciate it. I thought I saw someone wanting some Ramsboras up here. Oh, Bracken says, just got mine not that long ago. Borora's Micros. Next on the list is Barboides gracilis. I don't know that one, so let's look together. Let's just a little Google here. All right, that's a neat little fish. This one needs some food, but yeah, all right, pretty neat. All right, sorry about that. I'm back. What I do when I'm not on screen, you'll never know. Just over here picking my nose. I have a 75-gallon, never kept cichlids. Any recommendations on haps versus peacocks? I would honestly start with peacocks. They're generally not as aggressive as haps, although there's definitely some haps that are not aggressive, but I don't know. I'm always going to lean towards peacocks. What? Ruben says, a dream fish of mine that I have is my Bolivian ram. What an awesome little fish. I totally read that wrong before I read it out loud, so never mind all the whats. A dream fish of mine is my Bolivian ram. I feel Bolivian rams are very underrated. They don't get as much love as like the German rams, you know, the gold. But honestly, the Bolivian rams are my favorite. I would take Bolivian rams over the electric blues, the gold, the blue gold heads now. I love Bolivian rams. UPS, you're living the dream with a $5 super chat just because you're looking spiffy in that hoodie tonight. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. That's about how much this hoodie costs. I've always wanted Oscars, but I've never had a tank big enough for them, says John. All right. Something's not adding up there. I'm not quite sure what it is, but that just does not seem right. Bracken says, I see them, but I never have room. I have an issue with filling tanks. I have one Nasuda Tiger, and depending on how much I like it, I will help me decide if I want to make room, or if I will make room. Alex says, a Piscogramma benchite Inca 50, the 50th species on Peruvian exporters list. All right. You know, if anyone knew what the 50 meant, it was going to be you, buddy. That's good to know. Inca 50, the 50th species. How bizarre. Is there going to be an Piscogramma something 100? UPS for Living the Dream says, quit trolling, John. Quit trolling. yeah, if you're gonna troll, at least get on my level. All right. I mean, I know it's hard, but you at least try. Randy Cox says, "Hey Bob, have you ever kept roseline barbs?" Yes. Another fish that I highly recommend for anyone who has never kept roseline barbs. It's probably my. So I used to have this 125-gallon rainbow tank, right? I moved him up into the 240, but anytime I have that tank in the background of a video, it's always, what is that fish with the red and black stripes and the yellow tail? I mean, it's got to be probably one of the most commented on fish on my channel. Like I said, even when I'm not doing a video of them. So yeah, the roseline barbs, roseline sharks, denison barbs, same fish. I love them. Highly recommend them. But I don't think I would do them in less than a 6-foot tank. Sure, you can do them in like a 55 or a 75. But when you really give them room to run, they go crazy. They're just zipping back and forth all day long. They love it. And it was a huge difference even when I went from the 6-foot tank to the 8-foot tank. Like, they got even more wild. They were just, and by wild I mean active, like way more active. I have an Insignis and Azurius hap in my mixed Peacock 75-gallon. Everyone is doing great. K Walker says, "I spent heaps of money on a pair of gold epistogramma and the female killed the male. I should have gone Bolivian rams." Yeah, you got to watch out for that. Which is weird. In my experience, the females kill the males after the spawn. Before the spawn, it's usually the male killing the female. Definitely got to give lots of places to hide, line of sight breaks. But yeah, it's funny how that switches after the eggs are laid. I've learned that the hard way. So I know once the eggs are laid now, if they're in a small tank, I got to pull out the male or he's just going to get beat down. Curtis Schindler with the $1 super chat. Thank you. Right on schedule, my friend. Zen Ginger says, "My Denison barbs are the best. Mine are in a 5-foot tank, but it's still pretty cool." Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Regina Flange says, "I was surprised how big Denison barbs get. Holy smokes." And they can get fat, too. Like, for the most part, they're torpedo-shaped, but once they stop growing this way, they start growing like this, like me. Once I stopped growing this way, I started growing this way. Denison barbs are the same way. Epistos generally go by D numbers. That's true, like C or CW or L. There are a couple of special cases. Yeah, not a lot of people are going by the D. Episto D numbers. But yeah, if you didn't know, epistos have a D. I don't know what that means. Like, obviously we know what C and L means, but the D, I feel like I need to just stop saying the D. So let's move on. Have you ever kept fathead minnows as pets? What minnows did I have? I don't believe they were fathead minnows. I'm just gonna go double check here. Fathead minnow. I don't remember which one I had. No, it definitely wasn't fathead minnows. So no, I've never kept them. Greg Jones, what's up, buddy? He says, "Wish list wet pets, biters, ropefish, and fly river turtle. Maybe in the next house if I can fit 1,000-gallon in the basement." Ropefish. Yeah, I'd take ropefish over bikers, but I mean, both are pretty sweet. My decisions are like 6 to 7. My decisions are like 6 to 7 inches long. Your decisions are way longer than that. Let's be real. But anyways, if we're not talking autocorrect, Zen Ginger says, "My denisons are like 6 to 7 inches long, and they're the diameter of a ping pong ball." Yeah, they get pretty rotund. Always driftwood. I like that. Always wanted to keep bucktooth tetras, but just haven't got around to it. That's basically how a lot of mine are. Like, I've wanted to keep them, but I just like rainbow darters. I've wanted to keep rainbow darters for years, but I've just never got around to it. That would be another one on my list. Another one on my list is the Haitiensis cichlid, which I'll show you that one because I'm sure not a lot of people have seen that one. The common name is the black nasty cichlid. Haitiensis is the scientific name. Let's see if we can find. I know I've shown this on my stream before, but it's hard to find a good picture of this fish because not a lot of people keep it. Or if they do keep it, they keep it with other fish, so you don't really get to see. Yeah, there's no good pictures of this fish. So it's a big one. It's a big fish, but they get these the males get really long lyre tails. And the problem is if you keep them with other fish, then they nip the lyre tail. You know me though, I'm not a fan of like one fish per tank, so I don't know that I would ever actually get this fish. But if it was like I hit that 1.3 billion mega millions and had unlimited tanks, I would definitely get one of these. Go for it. New York won't execute, you know, no, New York won't execute me for getting them. Curtis says, I would love an Asian arowana. Yeah, I mean, talk about a fish that needs to be legal. That's just ridiculous. Especially since, like, there's so many being farm bred now. Doesn't make any sense. Chris Swanson said, Odessa Barbs. Yeah, that's a good one. Mel says, was thinking on rainbow shiners for the next tank. I highly recommend rainbow shiners. If you get them small, though, just be patient. They do take a while to grow out and color up. Mitchell Broom says, Starry Night cichlid are also not very commonly kept, but they look pretty amazing. Not really my thing, but they are super fancy. Yeah, I got one of those for $1 at an auction, and it was a jerk. So it was like species only or traded in. I took it to my local fish store, traded it in. I tried. I didn't think, like, obviously I knew it wasn't going to be like some super peaceful fish, but I didn't think it would be as aggressive. I mean, this dude was a jerk. So he had to go. He had to go. Melissa says, I have Australian rainbow fish, Danios guppies, rosy minnows, pictus catfish, and Corydoras in a 20-gallon. What size tank should I have? You should have a lot bigger tank. Wow, let's read this list again. Australian rainbow fish, Danios guppies, rosy minnows. I mean, like 55 minimum. I don't know where you are, but the 50% off sale is at Petco, so you can get a 55-gallon for pretty cheap right now. But yeah, I would recommend a 4-foot tank for all those. Regina Flange says, I'm not a huge fan of most Danios, but leopard Danios, a big school of them, definitely has appeal. I think that's true about all fish. Like, sure, 6 stir-by-cories are cool, but like 100 would be cooler. Snakehead is another beautiful fish. I'm like the only one. Like snakeheads, I see snakehead, I'm just like, sure, it's cool. But again, I'm not a monster fish person, so you know, there is that. K Walker says red forest jewels. They're kind of jerks too, though, aren't they? Mountaintop Puffer Keeper says dwarf pike, the Crenchula. Regana was awesome to breed in a 50. I feel like we need more dwarf pikes in the hobby. Dwarf pikes are pretty rad. Me again from Katie says, hi Bob. Me again from Manhattan, Illinois. There's a Manhattan in Illinois? I had no idea. All right. Ruben says, my friend used to be obsessed with pike live bears. They're such a unique fish. Yeah, that's true. Speaking of unique fish, let's segue that right into the fish of the week. Fish of the week. Let's take a look. It's on sale too, which is a big reason why it's a fish of the week. The black line sand goby. As you can see, on sale for only $7. There's only 12. So hurry up. Get them quick because they're going to go quick. Remember when I sold like 100 fish that one week? 12 is not going to last very long. So here's the deal. The black line sand goby for $6.99 is an amazing deal. I realize it's not the most flashy goby as we go and look at some of these other ones, right? It's not a teardrop. It's not a Sicyopus, you know. Obviously, there's all these other gobies with insane colors, but price reflects that. But the black line goby here for $7, you're going to get one of the coolest behaving, just quirky, fun little fish you're ever going to have. If you've never kept gobies, highly, highly, highly recommend gobies. They are one of the funnest fish you're ever going to watch. The way they just kind of, they don't really dart around. They kind of like bounce. I don't know. It's hard to describe. And how they perch themselves up on their pectoral fins. Some gobies can even move their heads. Like one of the only fish out there that can actually move their head like side to side, which is kind of crazy. But it's always cool to see these guys. They're always like, if you have a sponge filter, they'll just perch up on top of the sponge filter, rocks, hardscape. And they're insanely peaceful, easy to keep. Pretty standard water parameters. They'll do just fine. And yeah, there you go. Black line sand goby, super awesome. Can't say enough good things about them. And now, oh wait, I think I have that. Is it this one?
And now on with the show.
And now on with the show. They are just too comical and adorable to pass up. I need to get some gobies in a future tank. Yeah, I'm telling you. Ruben says, I'm kind of sad my plants are doing well because I'm never going to see my shrimp again. You will. You will. Your shrimp just have to catch up. But my 20 long that's like just caked in plants front to back. There's shrimp everywhere. Eventually they'll catch up and you'll see them everywhere. Sparrow's Swim says, my tank will be driftwood heavy, so I'm looking at whiptail catfish and looking for cool centerpiece, not jerkfish. Well, what size tank? What size tank? That would be helpful. Mitchell Broom says, Bob, the large snakeheads are kind of meh, but some of the dwarfs, 6 inches or so, are nice. Yes, so I will agree with you there. Like the true dwarf species are pretty cool. There was a wholesaler here, or importer, whatever, that got some in by mistake, and I got to see them for a minute before they were destroyed. And yeah, they were definitely pretty cool. I'll give you that one. 55 gallon. I don't know. I would say if you're gonna do sand, maybe like a group of geophagus would be kind of cool. Some sand sifters. You know, get 5 or 6 geos in there. That'd be pretty neat. Unless you want like one, like centerpiece being one fish. I'm definitely not the one to ask for that. I'm definitely a school type of fish keeper myself. So yeah, I mean, I would go sand sifters, geophagus. Darren says, hey Bob, how's life treating you? Darren, I cannot complain. As much as I want to, I cannot. Because what's the point? I think that gobies would be cooler if they were native to Americas. I don't know why that would make them more cool. I mean, we basically have darters, which are American gobies, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. For me anyways, like where they come from doesn't have any effect on like their cool factor. If they're cool, right? I don't know. Sparrow Swim says, loving the geo. Yeah, I need to get some myself. It's one of those. I want to do. Curtis says I want to do geos and severums in my 6-foot 90 gallon. Get rid of the severums. Just get more geos. Severums are overrated, buddy. Let's be honest. They're super overrated. UPS, you're living the dream with another $5 super chat. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Zen Ginger says, thanks, Katie. Definitely thank you. Got an extra day? Oh, it is a holiday today, isn't it? I totally forgot. A lot of people have the day off. Although I think I saw something that might make me angry. Did I just see that there's Monday Night Football still? Is that still going on? Surely it's not. Yeah, there's a game right now. It's almost freaking February. How is Monday Night Football still a thing? And it's the Cowboys of all teams. Ugh, I hope they lose. They're the worst. Curtis Schindler says, wine Millerize where it's at. Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. Saints Dust Aquarium. I think the next fish I get is Lake Avenue rainbows. You know, I'm kind of missing my rainbows, to be honest. I was cruising around on Dan's website looking at his rainbows today, and I saw some that were kind of tempting. Where are they at here? Here they are. Let me show you these guys real quick. The Melanotania papua. Poo-poo. Melanotania poo-poos. So these are actually really close to where you would find, oh my gosh, I'm drawing a blank again. Gosh, I am the worst. Parkinsoni rainbows. These actually kind of share the same water as Parkinsoni rainbows, which is kind of neat. But anyways, the Melanotania papua. These are a smaller rainbow, which is kind of cool. There's only 4 of them. If there was like 8 of them, I might be on board with getting a little something. But yeah, little 2.5-inch rainbow. Maybe he'll get some more pretty soon. Well, there's a couple species on sale that were pretty tempting, like the Gittleman Village. Glossolepis are amazing fish. They get the longer, like shredded fin looks, which, you know, not a lot of people like, but I kind of dig them. Yeah, there's a couple species. The Frederici, $12.99. That's crazy. Somebody should buy those right now. That is cheap. Yeah, wow. I missed that. $12.99. That's a good price. If there's another smaller rainbow you want, like if you're looking for a small rainbow, these ones right here are crazy beautiful. Oh man, don't get me stuck on rainbows again. I just switched to Corydoras. Let me get out of here. Bring me back. Man. We say a Papua or Papway? Papway? You mean you don't call it poo-poo? UPS Living the Dream says last Monday Night Football game. Yeah, it seems crazy. I don't remember there ever being playoffs on Monday Night Football. But then again, I haven't really followed the NFL really that closely, so whatever. Well, we can get fruit out of season now, so I guess we have Monday Night Football out of season too. Lady Rorschach. I have quite a few fish and vertebrates to add to my tanks this year. I am aiming to have tanks that have more orange Venezuelan and pygmy cories for sure. Can't go wrong there. Go back to the rainbows? No. I'm so far deep in Corrydoras, I won't be switching anytime soon. Class Aquatics member for 1 month, thank you, says, got my hands on a 50-gallon lowboy, setting it up within the month. Do you still have yours going? No, and I actually shattered mine. I'm thinking of adding Aspidoras, Puco. So that's the 6-line Corydora. It's actually not an Aspidoras anymore. They got kicked out Aspidoris, they had a meeting of the 15 families, and they were like, these guys got to go. These guys got to go. So they got kicked out. It's now Corydoras pucoradiatus, whatever, or the easy name, the 6-line Corydora. Very cool Cory. If you can find them, I would absolutely buy a bunch of them. If I can find them, I'm going to buy a bunch of them. A Corydora that I got that I'm I'm really very surprised about are the Corydoras napoensis. They are turning out to be one of my favorite Corys of all the ones I have so far. They're a smaller species, and just the way they're like so... It's hard to describe how they are. They're really chill. Like, even when they're schooling around, they're just like... I mean, honestly, it's going to sound terrible. It just looks like they're just stoned, like grooving on some 70s music, just slowly going through the aquarium. I mean, it's very, very bizarre. Like, I don't... It's really hard to explain. I'll have to get some video of it. But, yeah, Corydoras and napoensis. I need to get more because I only have 6. Emu, not emu. I like the Corys as well. They're so delicate. No, anywhere to get Corydoras similis. Still searching. I know Dan had some, but he might have sold out. I haven't got my hand on similis either. I don't know if you're local, but Aquarium Co-op had some last time I was there. A couple weeks ago. Cory swim on the bottom, the rainbow swim on top, because I'm breeding. I'm not making community tanks. I'm just breeding. And yes, I could probably breed them both in the same tank, but I'm really focused on Corys. Like, the hobby needs Corys now more than ever. Especially with what's been going on with Corys the last couple years. Like, the hobby needs a good source of Corydoras. And we really don't have it. I mean, obviously there's some good breeders, but we need more. So that's my goal. That's what I want to do. Yeah, I mean, that's it. I'm going all in on Corydoras. Dan's out and I'm in California. Yeah, I'm not sure. I haven't seen any in my travels, my online travels, but I haven't been looking for similis either. Because I know I can get them locally, so I don't really look for them. I don't really see them on wholesale lists that often either. I don't know that I've ever seen them on a wholesale list ever. Nathan says, yes, we do. The big name stores in my area never have them anymore. Pretty sure rainbows would destroy most any Cory spawn except for the few that spawn under the leaves in the bottom. Oh, yeah. Like, so I'm lucky enough that, like, it's my full-time job, so I can literally, like, watch tanks all day. So if I see them spawning, like, I would be pulling eggs, but, like, I don't want to do that. So, like, I'm sure that I could breed rainbows and Corys in the same tank, but I don't want to. I don't want to look at them that. Like, I don't want to have to be sitting in there and, like, watching them all day, every day. Anyone get Corys from Eric Bodrock? I'm hoping to possibly get some at Cataclysm this year. Eric Bodrock just listed a bunch of, like, books and stuff on Aquabid. Like, a ton of crazy old books on Aquabid, which is kind of interesting if you're into that stuff. Like, look at all this stuff. It's crazy. Look at this. Look at all this stuff. I don't even know if you can see that, but this is all Eric Bodrock. Oddball Aquatics. There's some Cory stuff in here too, but it's all pretty outdated. It would still be cool to have, like this one right here for $5. Like if I could scoop that up for like $6, like I'm not bidding on any of this stuff till it gets closer. We still got a week to go. But I'll probably end up bidding on some of this Cory stuff. Because even though it's old, it's outdated, like a lot of the information is still good. Like they might have, sure, some of the Corys may have been reclassified, things like that. But in general, the information's still going to be pretty good. So we'll see. But, I mean, we got 3rd page. Here's more. 5th page. Like, this dude has been hoarding books for a long time. I don't think he has any actual fish on here. We just need to click on one of these. View sellers auctions. Yeah, I don't think there's any fish. Not a lot of people shipping right now. Still, that's pretty crazy. Good time to get some literature though. Like I'm definitely a book person. I'm not a oh, I just got a copyright claim. Darn. I'm definitely not a read it on my phone type of person. Whatever that thing is. The Kindle, is that still around? Do people still use Kindles? Crypt Keeper Aquatics, what's going on? Good to see you. Mitchell Broom says I got my Scleromastix CW038 from him. What did I want to tell you? My my semi-aqualis, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but they are, I think last week you mentioned that they could be like aggressive. So far I haven't seen that at all. They are kind of crazy. They're pretty super active, but I haven't seen any type of aggression from them yet, and I think you have them too. So I'm wondering if you've seen that with yours, because so far for me I haven't seen anything. But I also have them in quarantine with like 50 other Corys, so maybe it's like the African cichlid thing where the aggression is just spread around. But I got a whole group of Corys going through quarantine right now. Eric Bodrock is a big book collector, but he went up against, I think it was the Aquarium guy in a blind auction, and that guy totally blew him away on price. Have you ever seen Ellerby's video when he tours his room with all his collectibles? He's got some pretty rare stuff. Yeah, that video's in that like 4 years old now. I don't really remember much of it, but I remember both him. Doesn't his wife have? Don't they both have like their own room of like old fish collectible stuff? That's pretty nuts. What size tank would you need to breed trout gadids? Carlos, just to breed them, you could probably do it in a 20-gallon, but I would do it in a 40. But I know there's people out there doing it in a 20, so. Sometimes they're on leaves. Bob, you could use some success with Corys after everything you've been dealing with. Well, I mean, that's kind of the idea, kind of the plan. So we'll see. I'm either gonna do well or crash and burn. Time will tell. I got some of Eric's C112 Corys, arrived great and have been excellent. I'm really curious to see what Cataclysm is going to be like. I've never been there. The ACA is going to be there too, so maybe I'll find my Tricotti as well. I doubt it, but you never know. But I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's in June or July, if anyone is wondering. Cataclysm 2023. I think it's June. No, wait. What's July? Actually, I think it's July 13th through the 16th. I could be wrong. Yeah, Corydors semi-aqualis are not as aggressive as like Fowleri, but they do much better with the cichlid distribution hate method. Yeah, so I got 12 of them. And then there's probably another 50 Corrydoras in the same tank. So, but they're fun to watch, man. They are like super active. Corrydoras are more carnivorous. Yeah, I mean technically omnivore, but yeah, they're definitely leaning towards the meat side of the spectrum. They're probably like 90-10. Get those vegetables off my dinner plate. Amissa says, my other half just got his G-Pass, 6.5 pound mounted bass caught in the late 60s. Wait, his G-Pass 6. I don't know what G-Pass is. I mean, it's the Great Lakes Portland Aquarium Society, but I don't know what that has to do with a 6 pound bass. I'm so confused. Max number of bristlenose fry for a 30 gallon. I mean, you could have a lot. It really depends on how many water changes you want to do. You could easily raise up a couple batches of fry. Oh, grandpa's. I'm like, you've had a bass since the late 60s and you just got it stuffed? That makes way more sense. Just got his grandpa's 6.25 pound mounted bass. Bass. All right, that makes way more sense. Aquatic Mom with the $10 super chat. Here's to not crashing and burning. Well, you know, it wouldn't be the first time and it won't be the last time, but just hope for the best. Thanks for the $10. I appreciate it. Saints Dust Aquarium says, has anyone ever bred Alto Lamprologus calvus? I would be really surprised. It's not a hard fish to breed, but they take so long to grow out. Altos are pretty expensive. They're like rainbows, right? They're like $20 to $30 a piece, and it's because it takes forever to grow them out. Slowest growing African cichlid, I swear, are altos. Or the compressiceps, basically the same thing. Both just horrendously slow growers. So not a lot of people breeding them. Ninja loaches? What? Curtis says, I found an old 20-gallon metal frame tank I'm thinking of buying just because it's cool. Really? See, I don't like the metal frame tanks. I don't know why. I had a 9.5-gallon long metal frame tank, and it ended up leaking on me. That's probably why. I'm a little biased because mine leaked on me. It was only 9 gallons. But I don't know. I've seen a lot. Like, those tanks always, when I used to go to the Seattle Aquarium Society meetings, like, those tanks always ended up there, and they always sold really cheap, and I was just like, I don't know. I didn't like it. Like, you get scuff marks, you get fingerprints everywhere, you always have to wipe it down. I don't know. Zen Ginger, member for 38 months, thank you, says, oh my god, 38 months, 10 months till my Squatch badge, or whatever you change it to by then. Yeah, it could be anything. The metal tank, sure, they don't seal. I mean, they do, right? They just silicone them. But for the most part, they're going to be really old, so that's probably the bigger problem. I seen a 125 metal frame tank from 1955 on Facebook, and man, that would be cool. See, I just, like, you can't touch it. You just get fingerprints everywhere. I don't like it. I don't know. Not for me. But hey, if I ever find one, yeah, you can have it. I know who to give it to. Hey, buddy. Think you should calm down a little bit? And the hoods will give you a good shock. Oh. Oh, man, those old school hoods. Oh, I'm so glad those aren't a thing anymore. My mate local bred them before. Yeah, so Saint Sus Aquarium says, thanks, Greg. Can you give me any info on it, please? And thanks. They're really easy to breed. Like, they're not that hard. I'm trying to think if there's anything from Lake Tanganyika that's hard to breed. African cichlids are not hard to breed. I can't think of a, like, maybe feather fins. Like, I've never bred feather fins, so maybe feather fins, but shell dwellers, rock dwellers, like compressiceps, sand sifters, all pretty easy to breed. Alex says, I just killed my smallest wild-caught black calvus moving the tank. The remaining two are showing signs of fooling around, though. Yeah, Alec, would you say, I mean, you, in your opinion, hard to breed, easy to breed, like on a scale of 1 to 10, what are you thinking here? I'm thinking like 5 or lower. Yeah, Greg's catfish. I mean, and this is so true about almost any fish out there. Give them clean water, good food, and they reward you. That's a truer statement couldn't be said. Now, there's definitely fish out there, like, you know, some of the rare pistos, and they need like 6 pH or lower. I mean, there's definitely those fish out there. Lake Tanganyika, you know, they like hard water, 9 pH, but it's not necessary. You touch glass without fingerprints, how? I don't remember the last time I touched a front pane of my aquarium. I've touched the rim, like I grabbed the rim and opened the top, but it's plastic. You know, you're not going to see smudges and fingerprints. The metal rims, they just show everything. I don't know. I don't like them. Fish Tank Barn says, the only thing I can think of is maybe sips, but it's more about keeping them alive. Well, in sips, like the fryer so huge, like you can just feed them flake. Like as soon as they spit them out, they'll eat flake. Like they're so big. And if you have them in a species only tank, like it should be pretty simple. Those old hoods are the Super Nintendo of hoods. You always had to mess with them to get it to work. Push the power button, turn the bulb, wiggle the fuse, right? The little, yep, blow on the cartridge. Exactly. Smack the side of it a couple times. The smudges on the glass drive my OCD batty. Yeah, you see it like in fish stores from all the kids. Not on my tanks. If there's ever a kid in my fish room slapping on the tanks, that kid's going to get punted right out the door. I'll be kicking field goals with that kid. JD Partridge says, I have 2 small kids. I don't know what clean glass is. What does it look like? Okay. I won't use your kids for field goals, okay? But anyone else, you bring your kids over and they're smacking my glass. They're getting the boot. Getting the boot. Do Pandagaras look like Gobies? I would say they're more of a Pleco Goby mix. Dog nose prints on. That's funny. That's funny. I don't have that problem, surprisingly, with 3 dogs. They generally don't go around my fish tanks. I don't know why I'm looking at them while I'm talking to them like they have no idea, but yeah, you're not really interested in my fish, are you? Well, you have my permission. Alex says, easy to breed, harder and slow to raise. Blue form of Neolamprologus sex fasciatus has never been bred. Yellow, yes. I don't think I've ever even seen blue. Steve says, recently picked up a pearl gourami. All fish looked healthy at the store, so I wasn't picky. The one I got has a half feeler on his left side. Half fin, maybe? Looks like a clean break, no fungus. Will it grow back? Will the pectoral fin of a gourami grow back? Ooh. Bringing all 8 kids. You're only at 8? What's wrong with you? Are you on vacation or something? Honestly, I'm not much of a gourami person. Like, I want to say yes, but I can't guarantee it. Can you take aquarium plants on a plane? I'm sure you could. Like, I don't know, like, I can't say like 100%, but I feel like if you can take fish on a plane, you can take plants on a plane. And I sold plants at Fishtoberfest to people that flew home. So yeah, you have to be able to have plants on a plane. Depths Unknown says it'll grow back as long as it's not nipped to the root. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm thinking. The feeler, you know, those 2 antennas. Oh! Okay. That I don't know. I definitely don't know with gouramis on that one. But again, if it's not all the way off, I would assume it would grow back. The better half brought goldfish. I never ever thought they would, and I never thought they would enter my fish room. But happy wife, happy life. Just no snakes on a plane. I'm pretty sure you can have snakes on a plane too. I guess OG Nintendo was the same. The good old days. I remember playing the Olympic Games with the pad you had to run on. I remember that. I never could get the pad, but my cousin had one. Mountaintop Puffer says, I have a spotted Congo puffer who had its bottom fin bit off about down to the root. I think it's like, as long as it doesn't break the cartilage, right? I could be wrong, but as long as it doesn't break like the cartilage all the way down, I think it's okay. I think it'll grow back. I gave her own hose. Yeah, that's a good one. Other half, bring some home goldfish. You're doing the maintenance then, because those things are poop machines for sure. Depths Unknown says, I've kept gouramis that had their feelers nipped and their feelers removed. So yeah, it's like I said, it's got to be like how far down it is. Okay. Sometimes my chihuahua gets a little inquisitive during fish tank maintenance. I pick her up so she can see and tell her that I'm going to feed her to the fishes. Has a little accident inside. You're getting fed to the fishes. Saints Dust Aquarium says, I'm not a goldfish person. Never have been, but they are pretty. I'm kind of in that same boat. I always said I'll never have goldfish. Then I got one. Then I got like 50, and now I have none again. It was interesting, but I don't think I would ever do goldfish again. There are some challenging tanks to breed: Benthachromis, Petrochromis, Lepidiolamprologus. Lepidiolamprologus. See, I can't say Petrochromis, I believe. Those things are like $200 each. Last time I looked. I can believe that. UPS, you're living the dream with the $2 super chat. Says, how's the aquarium co-op LED plant light doing? I absolutely love it. And the reason I love it is because of the spectrum. Like, it makes the fish look so good. Something that I didn't really showcase enough in the video is how much the fish just look way better. So I'm digging it. Goldfish are basically the mystery snail fish of maintenance. Yeah. I think I've said that a time or two, except I say it the other way. That mystery snails are the goldfish of snails. Just poop. They're all poop machines. Can you imagine mystery snails and goldfish in the same tank? Ugh. And maybe some plecos in there too. Ooh. That does not sound like a good time to me. Dojos. Dojo loaches, huh? Why not some, like, red lizard loaches? Huh, that sounds better. Amissa says, I had an albino cory that lost its... Well, let me start over. I had an albino cory that lost its fins due to a bad ammonia burn. Took almost a year, but it grew back. Carol Cox, I'm home. Long day. I have an Mbuna that was terrorized during mating, and now I call her Stub Mackenzie. She now has no tail fin. Is it all, like, healed over? Like, completely healed over, I would hope? Stubbs Mackenzie. All right. All right, Stubbs. That's too bad. My whiptail fry survived bobbed. First lot in 3 years of spawning. Nice. Whiptail catfish need more love. More people need to look up whiptail cats. Bob, she said, light colored, and it needs to be something that could go in cool water tank with fancies. Could those red ones now? Okay. Maybe didn't know the whole situation. I retract my statement on red lizard loaches. What about hillstream loaches? You can do hillstream with goldies. They'll like that cooler water. I keep my 4-feeder goldfish with Gara rufa in an unheated 75-gallon great tank. I've still got some feeder goldfish out in the ponds. They refuse to die. The pond was completely frozen over, and they're still out there. Yep, like it's no big deal. Well, that's cool. I would say normally they won't come back from that, but good job. That's awesome. No big deal. All right, what's another one? What's another fish that I've never kept, but I would? You know, I've never kept half beaks before, and I feel like I should have. I feel like at some point I'll need to get some half beaks. We already discussed Hillstream and Panagara catch up. Well, I can't hear what you guys are saying. I don't know. I'll never suggest anything else. I apologize. What about a bristlenose pleco? You can do bristlenose. I got some really rare bristlenose plecos for sale. Are all the black angelfish less hardy than the other varieties? Never had one, but overheard this at an LFS. I have no idea. I've never heard that in my life. That makes zero sense to me, but it could be wherever your LFS is getting their black angelfish, they just could be getting a not a very good strain. But that statement doesn't make any sense to me. Cool whip tail catfish. Matt M says, ordered Pseudomugil luminatus and Pseudomugil signifer from Dan's Fish. Any experience with them? Oh, of course. Of course, buddy. Pseudomugil luminatus are my favorite Pseudomugil. Absolutely love them. Beautiful fish. Signifer, again, crazy, sweet, fun behavior. If you got enough of them. Hopefully you did. I think I saw. Let me see. Let's just take a look here. Oh, it doesn't tell me how many. Red neon and Pacific blue eye. And you got your 10% off. That's sweet. At least I hope you did. Super easy to care for. You really don't have anything to worry about as long as you don't have any fish in the same tank that's like large enough to eat them, obviously, but that's just common sense. But have you ever had pseudomagills ever, or are these your first pseudomagills as well? Because their sparring behavior is super fun to watch when the males spar. You ever done anything with the Danio Ririo or know where to get any? I keep seeing sold out. Danio Ririo. Zebra Danios? Ooh. I couldn't tell you a good source for Zebra Danios, although I could see it being hard to get good quality Zebra Danios. But no, I don't know anywhere that sells them. Lady says Pseudomagill Grutride is definitely a future fish for me. I would love to put them in a pair of dojo loaches and yellow corridors. I wouldn't be surprised if the loaches will eat them. Matt says first Pseudomagills, never kept them. You are in for a treat. You'll see the males sparring all the time. It's all show. They never hurt each other, so don't worry about it. But it's more of a dance. They just dance with each other, spin around. It's super awesome. They're not hard to take care of by any means. You know, any good quality food. The only pseudomagills that I would warn people of are fricatas. Those are the only pseudomagills I've ever had issues with. They're just a bit more fragile than other pseudomagills. And you got your 10% off. Nice. Yeah, I saw the order go through. So I don't see like who, I don't see quantity. I just see, hey, I got a sale. 9 Signifers and 8 Luminatus. Are you keeping them in the same tank? That I probably would advise against. Not that there's anything wrong with it, but I think they each deserve their own tank personally. Lady says, I need to do a tank with zebra danios and black neon tetras. Just show 2 less popular fish some love. Yeah, I'm right there with you with black neon tetras. And I think all danios are underrepresented in the hobby. Like, all danios are awesome. I have Kyathith danios, I believe. Or maybe Hikari danios. I can't remember. But either way, I have them in with Rainbowfish, my 125, and they're awesome. Craig says, we got some L168 plecos yesterday. Going to try my hand at breeding them again. Awesome. Dan again, Aquatics. Hello again. Hello. Hello. Depth Unknown says, any tips on hatching Luminatus eggs? I keep collecting, but nothing seems to hatch. My water is extra hard. I would probably, you're not going to want to hear it, but I would probably suggest softer water. What about leopard danios with dojo loaches? I think any danio would be fine against loach because they're super fast. You know, at night when things are calmed down, you may have an issue, but I still think danios would be fine. And once they're also like way bigger than pseudomagills. I bet you'd be just fine with any danio. Sweet Tea says, what's a good BBA eater for a 40 gallon with a single 3-spot gourami, 6 cloud minnow? So right there, I'm going to say none. Are there fish that eat BBA? Sure. Are there fish that are good? No. Like flagfish are probably the best. But even then, it's not like they just go and just demolish BBA, right? Like if there's other stuff to eat, they're going to eat whatever you're feeding them. They're going to eat everything else before they eat the blackbeard algae. Honestly, you're better off just spot treating it with hydrogen peroxide. Depths Unknown says, I do have RODI, so I'll try that. I mean, that would be my first go-to. And no, I've never kept Cyandoralis just because they're brackish. I've never really gone the brackish route yet. But honestly, like, Cyandoralis might be the best looking pseudomcgill. I think it's the Luminatus, but Cyandoralis would be a very close second. So no. A no-go on the Cyandoralis. Lady says, long-fid leopard Danios are stunning. For how cheap Danios are, I don't know why more people don't keep them. Like, they're cheap, they're hardy. You can get a big school of them. They're super active, super fun to watch. But I don't know. They don't seem to get as much love as like Tetras and Rasboras. And maybe because, you know, obviously there's 150 different species of Tetras in the hobby, and there's maybe 15 Danios. So kind of an unfair advantage, but still. That's some good H2O. Oh, I should put on my gold chain, huh? You want to see my sweet gold chain? Check this out. With the co-op floater boater. Yeah, baby, check that out. I mean, yeah. I don't know why it took me this long to put it on in the first place. Hey, there we go. There we go. Haha. Boom. Can't even see it there. Boom. Ah, yeah, baby. Xanadudu says, my glow light Danios are awesome. That is actually one of the fish that I've never kept that I want to. Like 300 glow light Danios in like a 8-foot tank would be amazing. Alex, this has to do with the amino acid involved in synthesis of melanin pigment and something else. Well, I don't think you're talking to me because I have no idea what you're talking about. That is a look. There's real gold too. You can tell by the way it sounds that it's real gold. I'm confused. Why didn't you start with the epic chain? I totally forgot about it. Like, it was sitting underneath my hat and it like shine, it like blinded me for a second, and I was like, oh yeah. I pity the fool that doesn't keep Danios. I pity him. I pity the fool. I just watched Rocky 3 the other day. I pity the fool. Wow, all kind of early 90s love. Yeah, someone earlier said Saved by the Bell, but I was thinking more Fresh Prince, but Saved by the Bell works, I guess. I'm going to need you to attempt beatboxing now. I don't know about that. That's too much. Oh, the black angelfish. Oh, so that's a real thing. Has to do with the amino acid involved in synthesis of melanin pigment and something else. Huh. Add hoofahs like cod liver oil to diet. Very interesting. I never would have thought that like it would have come down to the pigments. That's interesting. Nathan says, I've been watching Elf all night. I've never seen it. Kloss Aquatic says, I was thinking of putting some Daniels along with Corey's in that 50-gallon lowboy. Glow light was definitely on top. How do I feel about that? Glow light Daniels and a 50 lowboy. I feel like you'd want something that's better looking top down. Like a platinum half beak, that would be pretty sweet. They look amazing top down. I mean, I don't know, maybe your 50's like up here on a shelf, but if you're like standing over top of it, I think you'd want something better from a top down view. And I don't know the glow light Danios. I mean, that's just my opinion, but silver tips are another underrated fish. Great tetra. Yeah. Where do your moms that come to drop bombs? JD Parcher says, I was thinking about doing an RO system. My local water is all over the place. Is there a guide somewhere to a decent system I could screw into a hose connection in my garage? I've never really looked into RODI systems that much, so I don't know offhand, but I'm sure that, rice fish is a good suggestion for Low Boy, but I'm sure there's videos online. There's gotta be. Bright neon 80s windbreaker hoodie, fake plastic gold chain, and with a float boat keychain on it. Beatboxing. What? Fake? Look how shiny that is. You think that's fake? I spent like 3 hours buffing this out. It's not fake. I'm offended. Have I ever watched Elf? I haven't watched Elf since the 80s. It's been a long time. Classes I have it built on a 4-foot stand. Was thinking was too low after first, but I'll have to just experiment with it for sure. Rice fish would be a good one. I mean, honestly, rice fish would be awesome. I've got rice fish out in ponds, and or like the golden mountain minnow would be pretty sweet. Those look really good top down. Yeah, pretty awesome. Xanadu says, "Hey, Johnny at Dan's Fish. Fingers crossed this week. You got fish coming? Are you buying fish, or what? What are you crossing your fingers for? What's going on? I feel out of the loop." If you spent more than 3 minutes buffing that out, it would start melting. Don't lie. Well, I mean, gold does melt. You can't heat it up. It does melt. Danikin Aquatic says, love the platinum half beaks. Yeah, so I've never kept them, but Danny has some in her fish shed, and they look really good top down. Really, really good. I think the better question here is, why are there 185 people watching some clown in this hoodie with a gold chain? Like, that's the better. It's not like, why are you wearing that? Why do you have that? Why is there 200 people watching this? That's the real thing. Come on. I was wondering who would watch a Christmas movie all day in mid-January. I would. I absolutely would. Matter of fact, I am about to watch a Christmas movie here in the next couple days. I'm not going to watch it all day, but it is the best Christmas movie of all time, so I have to watch it. I just found it in my DVD collection, and I have to watch it. The best all-time Christmas movie ever. I'll tell you what. Why are there not 2K people watching that? I mean, really. I guess that's an even better question. You're a friend? Aww. Sparrows, that hits me right here in the heart, buddy. Right here. You're our friend. Thank you so much. Why are you assuming we aren't dressed just as ridiculously as... I mean, I'm just hoping. Like, that would be amazing. Like, and this is not a one-off hoodie. Like, I've got a whole bin of hoodies like this over there. Danigan knows. He says, Bob, I'm from Portland. Your outfit looked normal to me. I wore a similar hoodie to this in Portland. You can see it. It's Die Hard, right? No. You guys will never guess. If someone guesses, I'll buy him a $25 gift card to the co-op. No one's ever going to guess. I would consider that outfit tame by Portland standards. Carol says, I'm embarrassed for you. Oh, that Carol does not hit me in the feels. Thank you so much. Good thing I don't get embarrassed. I don't think I've seen Gremlins since the 80s either. I don't even remember that being like around Christmas. What? Okay, the ref? No, I don't know what that one is. Bad Santa? No, I've actually never seen Bad Santa. So, wrong again. I've probably seen like 30 minutes of Bad Santa. I'm not a real big Billy Bob Thornton fan. Regina says, I often wear plaid with tie-dye. Does that help? That is amazing. Yes. Yep. So I've heard rumors about a show happening in Sacramento. It's about all I know. Sometime this spring. Hopefully we can get all the California people to come together. When I know more, you'll know more. But so for all my California peeps, I'll be coming to Sacramento. As long as it's not the same time as Cataclysm and I'm not in South America, I will be coming to Sacramento. But I have no details yet. And even if I did, I don't know if I'm allowed to say them. Some dude says, fish that I want to keep are Cyprichromis. Awesome. Oh, man, the one I can't say. Ophthalmo tilapia, Tropheus, that's mine. Julidochromis, Neolamprologus. You're basically, Cinetilapia. Okay, so that's not Tanganyikan, but basically all Tanganyikan fish is what you're saying. T-Shot says, hey, Bob, have you done a tour of your new fish room yet? I'm still building stands. So it's not done yet. Did somebody actually guess it? Uh-oh. Oh my gosh. How did you guess that, Zenny? It is Ernest Saves Christmas. Like, what in the world? I don't even know what I am. I have no idea how you guessed that. Ernest Saves Christmas is the best Christmas movie of all time. I mean, it just is. Wow. I'm shocked. Jingle all the way, definitely not. Oh man, definitely not. Regina says, at home I wear clothes that clash, don't care. I do that in public, like who cares? Man. Well, now I owe Zenny $25. Jeez. Bad Santa was good because of the little guy. He was a hoot. I don't remember. Just got here. What are we guessing? I said I was going to watch the best Christmas movie of all time, and that's what they were trying to guess. Zen Ginger says, I thought of the dumbest Christmas movie I could think of. How dare you? Honestly, you're this close to a ban. And I might might put the kibosh on the $25 gift card if you keep that up. Ay. Unbelievable. Clearly you've never seen Ernest Saves Christmas. Or you would not think that. No good. It's no good. I don't like the negativity, Zenny. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. I'm gonna donate your 25 gift card to somebody else. That's it. I'm giving it to someone else. Who do you hate the most? I think I know who you hate the most, and that's who I'm gonna give it to. And I'm gonna say that this is from Zen Ginger. You know what I mean, Vern? I mean, Ernest Goes to Camp. Like, hello. You mentioned it once in a live stream, Ernest. Oh, did I? I feel like I've talked about Ernest Goes to Camp, but not Ernest Saves Christmas. Ernest Goes to Jail. Like, I do. I have them all. I have every single one on DVD. What size tank would I do for 5 Pandagara in a group of Corys? Well, I mean, what are your limitations here? Like, I would do a 40 breeder if I had the space and money. Could you go smaller? Yeah, you could do like a 29. It also depends on what Corys. Some Corys are like an inch and some are like 3.5 inches. But I feel like 40 gives you the most options, and it also gives you the ability to expand if you need to. And I believe the half off sale is still going on. So if you have room and the finances, I would say 40. It's honestly one of the best sizes. Would Pandagoras get along with my one Gara rufa, which is large, most likely, ugly and obnoxious, though, I mean, Pandagoras are obnoxious too. Like, let's be real. But in a good way. So, yeah, absolutely they would get along. You know, as long as your Pandagara is not like full-grown 4 inches, or your Gara rufa is not like 4 inches, and your Pandagaras are like half-inch little babies, that might be a problem. What are the largest Corydoras? Well, I can tell you, the largest Corydora I have seen, I saw 2 weekends ago, and that is the Brocus multiradiatus. They were massive. Absolutely huge. And I'm talking, I mean, like, they were like the size of the palm of my hand. It was crazy. They were $60 each. And, oh, man. I was so tempted to get like 6 of them, but I couldn't justify $400 on Corydoras. But man, they were huge, so big. Now, if we're not talking Brocus, Poulters get really big, Robustus get really big. I'm sure somewhere someone knows. I mean, Alec probably knows the biggest Corydoras, but I used to keep Corydoras Poulters, and they were huge. Not anywhere as close to like the multiradiatus, but the Brocus multiradiatus is on my list. Like, as soon as I find some for a decent price, like, I don't want to buy adults. I actually want to buy them small. One, because they'll be cheaper and I can get more of them. So Petco's half off sale is the whole month of January. That's good, because I got to buy some 10-gallon tanks and a lot more 20-gallon tanks. So, you know what I mean, Vern? You know what I mean? Larger community fish options for a 29-gallon. I feel like you can't do large fish in a 29-gallon. Rescaping my gold gourami took the jump out of the temporary tote over the Rainbow Bridge. Whew, that's rough. So are you looking for like a centerpiece fish, like a gourami, or like schooling fish? Wet spot, $25 for the Brocus. Yeah, I've been eyeballing that. But I was at the wet spot 2 weeks ago and bought some Corys, and I've had some die-offs from there too. So I don't know that I want to go $25 and have some die off. So I'd rather find someone breeding them. But push comes to shove, say like in 2 months, if I haven't found them, I might pull the trigger on the wet spot. Rest in peace, Jim Varney. Yep, my favorite actor of all time. Love Jim Varney. Such a good dude. Johnny says scleromastids get pretty big, don't they? Well, it's kind of deceiving. Like, they get long, but they don't get like fat and big bodied like the Poulters or Robustus. Bob, didn't you just smash the bejesus out of a bunch of 10s? No, not 10s. I kept all my 10s. The tanks I smashed were broken, so that's why I smashed the bejesus out of them. They didn't do well in the move, and I moved in winter, and they basically got water in them, and then they froze and cracked, and I was not very smart about moving them. What just happened here? I just got spammed by a super chat. That's odd. T-Shot, $5 super chat says, for the fish room, I remember you saying you bred orange flash before. Were you male heavy? I'm trending that direction with my first few spawns. Any advice? Was I male heavy when I was breeding them? It's been so long, I don't remember. I have a pair of orange flash now, so I will be breeding them this summer. Was I male heavy? I don't think so, but I got them from a local breeder who told me that the temperature can make a difference. Now, I don't know if I believe that. That's true for some amphibians and reptiles, but I don't know if that's true for fish. So I don't know if I'm on board with that, but I'll say it, so maybe it's true. Mitchell Broom says with Apistos, higher temps produce more males. There you go. I trust Mitchell 100%. I was a little skeptical when I heard that, but I guess it's true. Cooler water then. Went and watched it in real 3D. What? I made the same mistake with a couple last winter. Yeah. That's T-Shot. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. And it appears we need cooler temperatures. But it also spammed me 4 times on that super chat, so you might want to check that you didn't just get charged $20. Yeah, you may just want to check tomorrow. Mitchell Broom says, Apisto breeders, I was one for a long time. Picked the high tanks in the racks to make more males for sale and lower tanks for females to sell pairs. Oh. Well, all right. Wow. Angelfish in a 40 breeder. How many? None. Angelfish are overrated. Next question. Just kidding. I mean, angels in a 40 breeder. I don't think it charged you $20, but it is showing up as four or $5 super chats. But I'll check it tomorrow, and if it did, I'll get with my little YouTube rep and make him refund it. Zen says, I only saw the super chat once on my side. I think something is weird. Yeah, so on the back end, that's why I'm worried, because I'm looking at the back end of YouTube, and it shows it 4 times. So, but I'll check it tomorrow, and then get in touch with YouTube if it is. Since the higher tanks are generally warmer. Yeah, I mean, that's how I plan my fish room. So all cooler temp cories are going on the bottom. Warmer temps like sterbies, they'll be on top. But there's not really a lot of warm Corydora or like 80 plus degree Corydoras out there. But anyways, how many angels in a 40 breeder? I feel like I would just do 1 pair. Old timer guppy breeders say temp affects sex, so I've heard. Yeah, so I've heard that about guppies, and when I was breeding guppies for my fish for profit tank, I didn't notice a difference. But you know, who knows? Controversial question, Bob. Tank mates with pea puffers? If so, what? I'm supposed to rehome some for a friend, and I'm curious. Thank you. My question would be how many? Pea puffers are a fish where if you have like 3, they're going to be aggressive, but if you have like 20, they're just fine. In the wild, they hang out in schools of like 1,000, so they really like to be in big schools. And if you have, it's like if you have 1, it's fine. If you have like 3 or 4, not so good. But then if you have like 6, 8, 10, you know, or more, then it starts getting fine again. Same way with like the Amazon puffers, in my experience. Just found a Venezuelan high-fin cories. Boy, if there ever is a cory that has like an unlimited amount of names, it is the Venezuelan cory. Like red, orange, high-fin. One of everything, I swear. 7 pea puffers. Okay, what size tank? What size tank you put them in? You're probably fine doing larger schooling fish. Like, I probably wouldn't do, like, nano rasboras, but any tetra is probably going to be fine. Leanne says, I got myself some black neon tetras, and they are now the fish I never knew I wanted. I'm telling you, never have I ever come across someone. Never have I ever come across. Never, whatever. I've never heard anyone regret getting black neon tetras. Like, they're so underrated, but so awesome. 7 and a 20 high. You're doing okay. You can do other community fish. I would do, like, they're gonna spend most of their time at the bottom, so like hatchet fish would be pretty cool, or anything else that's gonna like just stay in the upper third. You should be just fine. I also think that 7 is probably enough where you're not gonna get much aggression out of them. I mean, you're like right at the cutoff there. I kept 20 in a 20 gallon at all times, and I never had any aggression with them. Black neons look kind of plain, though. I'm telling you, get yourself like 20 of them, and they're amazing. I thought it was like 5 gallons a pea puffer or something. No. I would treat pea puffers like African cichlids. The more, the merrier. The whole 5 gallon per pea puffer is definitely, I'm definitely never going to be on board with that. As someone who has kept 20 in a 20 gallon with 0 issues, more the merrier. Any tetra recommendations? Well, I am a sucker for the black neon tetra, but I'm also a sucker for the candy cane tetra is one of my favorites. Ember tetras would be really good in a 20 gallon. They're big enough that the pea puffers won't bother them, but they're small enough to where you can get a decent sized school of them. So if you could find a good quality ember tetra, I'd go that route. Lucas says, always wanted black neons, but no room. We'll have to get another tank. Right? More tanks, always. I hate when they just stare at me. Like, just stare. Like, it's like a death stare. Jeez. I have a few black neons going on 6 years old. One is looking pretty haggard. The haggard neon. They are the perfect beginner fish, so hardy, and they school nicely a lot of the time. Yeah, they really do. Would my pea puffers eat dry food? So they did eat vibrobites after a while. I had to start with bloodworms and then like mix in vibrobites and bloodworms, and then eventually no bloodworms, and then they would go for vibrobites. But I would definitely not only feed vibrobites. Like, I would still mix in bloodworms a good amount of the time. Or blackworms, you know, whatever. Now he's making his bed. I love how he goes under the blanket and then does a bunch of twirls and wraps himself up in the blanket and then lays down. Mitchell Broom says, Kochu Tetra are another good one that more people need to try. That blue purple is really nice. Yeah, I think the price kind of turns a lot of people off. They're definitely a lot cheaper now than like 5 years ago, but still, when you want to get like a large school of them, it adds up pretty fast. But I agree, Kochu Tetra definitely underrated, and we need more of them. Legion says, I really like the look of the Serpe Tetras. Yeah, I like the candy cane. It's kind of the same finish, just looks like a candy cane, like red and white. Mitchell Broom. So you used to be an Episto breeder. Now you're a Cory breeder. What else? Did you do plecos at one time? Like, I'm curious how your journey has evolved of this hobby. Like, what did I start with? I definitely started with African cichlids when I got back into the hobby. Then went to Rainbowfish. Then went back to African cichlids. Then back to Rainbow. I've been going back and forth between those two. And now Cory's. This is my first serious attempt at Cory's. I'd love to do loaches, and I would also love to do gobies. I think gobies would be pretty intense though. So I'll probably go loaches next, but I'm always thinking about gobies. Like I love gobies. Like my bar cheek gobies, if I can get them to spawn, they're gonna lay like 200 to 300 eggs. It's gonna be amazing. Do I think they would go for freeze dried blood or blackworms? I think it's worth a shot. I never tried it. But it's probably worth a shot. I mean, you can get freeze dried worms for like $6, right? And if they don't eat it, your other fish will. So at least there's that. Bleeding Hearts is a good group to go good with a lot of mild-mannered cichlids. I love Bleeding Hearts because of their size. Like, they get way bigger than people think. I've had some massive Bleeding Heart tetras. I made the mistake of putting them outside in a pond. That was a big mistake. But yeah, they get really big. And you don't see them that often. I'm going to open up an 80s bar with aquariums in it and call it Haggard Neon. As long as you have pinball machines and arcades, I'm down. I would love, like, if I won the lotto, I would open up like a pinball, not a bar, because I don't want drunk people bashing on my pinball machines, but I would definitely open like a pinball place. And I would make everything a quarter, not like $2 like everything is now. I did some fancy plecos, wild type bettas, shell dwellers, goodyids, killifish, lots of uncommon and small peaceful things. I still keep some of the more unusual things, just not as many versus Corey's. Awesome. I gotta check out your fish room one of these times. Johnny at Dan's Fish says, we got a great group of bleeding hearts. Guess I'll have to Google it. Dan's Fish. Let's see. Whoa. Why is this so big? That's what she said. Okay. There we go. Tetras. Emperor Tetras for $6. That's a steal. Looking for bleeding hearts. Ooh, that is a good price. Look at this, folks. Oh, Firefox. We got the inside track from Johnny himself. Johnny Drama. I bet no one knows where that's from. Well, I hope some people do, actually. That's a good price. $6 for bleeding heart tetras. With the collection point, even. That's pretty, I was going to say something I shouldn't, so I'm just going to say that's pretty sweet. But look at this. Look at these guys. Carry tetras for $6. That's a steal. Splash tetras. These are really cool. I don't know. Can you guys see that? Like, you see my cursor? Oh, yeah. Splash tetras. Rainbow Emperor tetras are only $10. What is going on here? Honestly, I haven't looked at you guys' tetras in a while. You know, is another thing I've always wanted to do, another tank. I've wanted to do, and I was going to plan to do this in my fish room before I decided to go full Corydora. I wanted a large tank with like 500 lemon tetras. I think that would be amazing. Featherfin tetras? Oh. Do you guys still have the swordtail tetras? Those things were amazing. I don't see him. All right, coming back. Hey, let's look at some Corys. Why don't we look at some Corys? Excuse me. They were in your tour. Really? The Bleeding Hearts? That video was like 2 hours long. You can't expect me to remember it. My LFS has neon, dwarf rainbows, and my brother wasn't that interested. I'm not a big rainbow fan, but I thought they look excellent blue with the red fins. Yeah, how can you not like Praecox rainbows? What is wrong with you, Curtis? Praecox rainbows are awesome. And when they get larger, that blue sheen gets even brighter. We just sent out the last swordtail tetras. Zen Ginger, you know Entourage? I'm shocked again. I would not expect you to know Entourage. Entourage. I am currently on season 8 of Entourage, but I've seen it like 100 million times. Do you still have those crazy schooling tetras? What was the name of them? Melanotania costae. Melanotania? That's not right. Costae, it's Miku, something. Melanotania, that's funny. And yes, I still have them. They are these guys here. Yoink. Blackline tail tetras. Moen Cavassier. Cavassier Coste. I don't know. Blackline tail tetra sounds better to me. Yes, I still have my group of 40 some of them, and they are schooling right now. You see them in the in my last video, the light video I made. You can see them schooling around. Pretty awesome. Oh, I already turned off the Corys. Yeah, well, that's all you get today, apparently. I love Pracox. I still have the one I got from you. Oh. Then what's Kenny talking about? My LFS had neon dwarf rainbows, and my brother wasn't that interested. I'm not a big rainbow fan, and I thought they looked excellent. Great show to rewatch. I enjoy it. Johnny Drama, do you guys ever have black neons on the site? I would love to get some from you. Well, there's one way to find out. Just search black neon tetra. No results. So I'm going to say negative. But that doesn't mean they won't have them in the future. Let's just search neon tetra. Yep. No black neons. Heard that Stenker daughter was carrying on, maybe just in Germany. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with those discus. Okay, let me check something here real quick. Oh yeah. Sorry. Okay. Wanted to make sure I didn't get yelled at for talking about Sacramento. It cost me $500, but I got my something fish today. Very rare. Yeah. Nice try, buddy. You think I was born yesterday? Boom. Get him out of here. Hit the bricks. Did someone already ban him? Ooh, didn't ban. Did you already get banned, buddy? That was quick. I've been looking for the Coste Tetra for a while. Then you did your video on them, and I got to looking again. Dad had an awesome deal on them, so I got like 28 of them. 28 of them a bit ago. They are awesome. Anyone know if Fishy Biz Aquatics is going live tonight? I have no idea. Is it scheduled? Let's take a look. Uh-oh, it's gonna autoplay. Don't autoplay. All right, I don't see anything scheduled. Nothing scheduled. Best place to get black neon tetras, probably your local fish store. They were just small for what he wanted them for, and I just bought my Blythe River, so I didn't buy them. Oh, okay. Now I get it. I mean, Blythe River are pretty cool, so can't fault you for that. I found somebody at a chain store for cheap. Just make sure you quarantine. Yeah, you can get Petco, PetSmart, Amazon. Petco and PetSmart do carry black neon tetras, but absolutely quarantine if you get them from there. And quarantine for a long time. But otherwise, yeah, I mean, an LFS if that's an option. And I think you can even get them at for $1 at Petco when they do their 5 for 5 sale. I could be wrong, but I think that's one of the ones you can get if they still do that sale. I don't know. But they used to have their 5 for $5 when everyone would be like, I want one of those. I want one of those. I want terrible sale. But for the people that knew what they were doing, they were like, I want 20 of those for $20. 20 of those. Johnny at Dance Fish says, always quarantine everything. Well, I don't quarantine your fish. What are you going to do about it? I agree. Quarantine everything, but I don't quarantine fish that I get from Dance Fish. So, you know, whatever. It's one of those do what I say, not what I do. How's the MacBook treating you? I haven't done a lot on it, but I do like iMovie, and I'll probably get Final Cut Pro eventually. It's still like spend $300 on Final Cut or spend $300 on Corrydoras. Really no contest there. So I don't know when I'll get Final Cut Pro, but I am enjoying iMovie. So we'll see. We'll see. I haven't activated my iPhone yet. It's still just sitting there in the background, as you can see. I tried to activate it through T-Mobile, and they wanted to do a hard credit check. And I was like, why in the world do you need to ding my credit for me to get cell phone service? I own the phone outright. You know, I'm not doing the payment plans. If I'm doing the payment thing, whatever, sure, I could get it. You need to run a credit check for payments. But I'm not. I bought the phone outright. So why do you need to do a hard check on my credit for cell phone service? So I told him to piss off, because I'm like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Does it make sense to anyone? Like, my bank can do a soft check and give me a $10,000 credit card without. Why can't you do a soft check? Why does it have to be a hard check? That doesn't make any sense. You forgot to water those plants? Actually, I didn't. You see, my water is right here. It moved from over here to over here because I watered them. And if you could see the little discs that they're in, there's water in there. But I did think that would open up a lot sooner than it did. But there is water. I didn't forget. I did remember. So I don't know. I might just stay on Verizon, even though I hate Verizon. The power company tried to pull that with me too. They're like, you need to pay a deposit. Blah. I'm like, why? Like, I don't have any of your equipment. I paid cash for everything. Why do I need? It's like this stuff. Some of this stuff just doesn't make sense, and I won't go for it. Like, I'd rather have no service, just out of principle, out of spite. Not even principle, just out of spite. Mitchell Broom says, finally got off my butt and registered for a cat. Wait, we have to register? Or are you a vendor? I shouldn't have to register, should I? I could just, like, show up. Lady says, I have a $25 gift card for Consolidated Fish Farms, and then they have black neons. I've never even heard of them. I couldn't tell you. Leslie says, I wouldn't let them do a credit check either. Yeah, like, who still does hard checks on credit? That's stupid. Man. And the only reason I even care is, like, I'm trying to buy some property, so that's already hard enough to get financed for, like almost impossible to get financed for property. So it's like, even if it would only lower my score like 5 points, like that still could be a big difference. So I don't know what I'm gonna do. Oh, to get the tickets, I should probably buy my plane ticket, because I got notified that tickets were like the cheapest ever. I'll have to check that out. My dang cat chewed up my rattlesnake plant, really hoping it recovers. Cats, like can't trust him. My credit is locked. When I tried to get access to my bank's app, they wouldn't do it because they couldn't access my credit. I went through 10 people before they gave me access to the app. That's so ridiculous. I would be suspect buying discus from Asia. I would be suspect buying anything from overseas. Lady says I don't have anything super close aside from Petco. I'm gonna have to check out this Consolidated Fish Farms. I already don't like the name. Like, anytime consolidated is in the name, it's usually never a good sign. Like, your business name is consolidated, so you tried, you failed, and you had to consolidate? Is that what you're telling me? All right, the first thing I gotta look at is Corydoras. Sold out. Can't even keep Corys in stock? Come on. I'm just kidding. I've never used them, so I can't say anything one way or the other. My dang cat chewed up my rattlesnake plant. Aren't those kind of supposed to be a little toxic for cats? I don't know. You know, I think we can look. You know how long it's been since I've been to a PetSmart? It has been years. My PetSmart used to be really good, but it went south, and it went south fast. Black neon tetras are $2.79 at PetSmart. And if you buy 4, you get 15% off. Look at that. Same price at... Ooh. You can get a dozen black neons at Petco for $12. That's way cheaper. One for $2.79. 12 for $15. Probably lose about half that, so they're right back to $3 each. Here's the interesting thing. Let's look at this. Someone needs to try this. I'm not going to try it, but somebody needs to try it. Oh, come on. Stupid captchas. There. Okay. Look at this. $12-pack for $15, and it says free shipping at $35. No way are they doing free shipping on fish. Like, no way that's a thing, right? Let's just make this. Probably going to make me log in and all that stuff, and I don't know my login. See? Shipping, $35. What about all this free shit? Like, this should not be here. This is what I hate about these guys. Why is this there? They are completely lying. I would raise heck. I'd get in their online chat. I'd talk. Well, with these corporations, you got to go through Facebook now. Facebook is how you get stuff done with these guys. I'd say it says free shipping, just like the Aquarium open top tanks are 50% off, but the 60-gallon is not. I'd be like, it says all. It says all Aquarium 50% off. Although I was looking at the 60 and I don't think I like it anymore, so I don't want one. You think they ship well? I think it ships through that one place that they bought, right? I forget the name. They are toxic to cats, hence me not having any, but when the ASPCA classifies something as toxic, it could just mean it just causes digestive upset. Yeah, and that's one thing we got to remember when it comes, when plants are toxic. Like, maybe it just means they puke, and maybe it means nothing. Maybe they won't have any adverse reactions. Favorite place to order fish online? Well, Dan's Fish, obviously. Duh. Dan's Fish. Danley the Manly. I don't like the 60 either. Yeah, I was kind of looking at it. Like, when it first came out, I was like, oh, okay. That's kind of neat. But now I'm all about the 30 breeder. Like, I want the 30 breeder at 50% off. I love that tank. Love the 30 breeder. 60, not so much. It's like, why would you have a 60 when you can just have a 75? Like, take the 75. And for the record, Consolidated Fish Farms is no longer consolidated. Just a name at this point. But that's how any business that has consolidated in the name. It's not really consolidated. Like, it's always the same. It used to be. It consolidated at one point, but now, like, if you're going to consolidate, change the name. Don't name it Consolidated. Change the name. Johnny says, hate 30 breeders. Well, they hate you too, buddy. Johnny Drama. They hate you too. For the record, I haven't used my gift card yet, but Funk swears by them, and the fish Drew got from them have been good. Oh, all right. So some people have used them at least. Good to know. Mr. says, I have two betta, and I love their personalities. I like them for their personalities, not for their looks. Dan gave away his whole rack of 30s, hard pass. Well, it's definitely like, it's almost like the same thing. Like, why have a 30 breeder when you can just have a 40 breeder? But I believe for my case in my fish room, like, the 30 breeder makes more sense. Because I could go 4 high on a rack instead of 3 high with the 40 breeder. Also, I can do a lot more carpeting plants easier with a 30 breeder than a 40 breeder. But, you know, it's all personal preference. Like, everyone has their thing. What do you think about the Aquarium hang-on back filter that comes with the kit? I mean, they work. Here's the thing with hang-on backs. I would never use the cartridges that come with them. Like, I would use it the first time, but when it's time to replace them, I would never buy the replacement cartridges. And that's really my only problem with hang-on back filters, really. Except the I don't like ones where the pump is outside of the water, where you have to prime them. So like the Marineland one, but like the Tetra and the Aquarium ones have the pump in the water. I do like that. Dan gave away his whole rack of 30s. Whole rack. Oh, Atkins Nature Aquarium. What's going on, buddy? I feel like I haven't seen you since Portland. Same benefits of a 40 long over a 55. Yep. I would much rather grow plants in a 40 long than a 55. And the real thing I don't like about a 55 is how thin the glass is. Like, they bow after a certain amount of time. They'll start bowing, and I don't know, when I'm looking at a tank that's like, how can I say this? The dollar per gallon tanks, they're not exactly the best quality tanks, right? I mean, they're just spitting those things out as fast as possible. So when I start seeing those things bow, I get a little paranoid, because let's be honest, not a lot of care went into making those tanks. And you can see when, like, the glass in the corner, like, overlaps the other piece by, like, a 1/4 inch, right? There's, like, gobs of silicone in one spot, and then a thin line, and then gobs, like someone's just like... They're not the best. So if they're bowing, I'm getting a little paranoid. So I don't like the 55s that much anyways. I'm a lurker I lurk most of the time too. I like it that way. And then I could see, and then I can watch and see all the people talking crap about me and see who to add to my list. You made the list. You're on the list. Considering getting a border terrier. Thoughts? Haven't had a dog since I was a kid. With the family dog, on paper he is good with kids and other dogs, can hike and fit. I love terriers, so I can't say anything wrong. The Camelopardalis is growing good, awesome. What about the? I gave you a bicher too, right? A biker. I hear 55 makes great sumps with refugiums for larger tanks. I mean, they are cheap sumps. So, I mean, that's true. Caitlin says, hang on the back, scare me now. I came home the other day to find my rice fish fighting, being sucked into it. How, I'm not sure. I've never had a problem before. Now she swims tilted. You got to get the sponge. The little sponge that goes over the tube. Think of how many fry that thing's sucking up. Like, if your fish are breeding, it's sucking up all the fry. You got to get the sponge on there. We got a lot of votes for Border Terrier. We got a lot of pro thumbs up votes for Border Terrier. And so is the Bicher. He's awesome. I would love to do a tank of Bichers someday. Someday that'll happen. Oh, there was a sponge and it was still? Wow. I would bet, honestly, I would bet that there was something else wrong with the fish and it was just too weak to fight off the current. That's what I would guess. My brother had a 55 that from my dad that bowed out horribly. I think it was the same tank that exploded when he tried to drill it. Oh man. Yeah, I really don't trust those 55s. They scare me. Do I like Seachem hang-on backs? I've never used one. Manager at Petco said he sold me a couple of 60s at 50% off. Hope he doesn't change his mind. I mean, for 50% off, I would try it. But hang-on backs are so expensive. Like, I haven't done any shopping for hang-on backs in quite some time. But I was thinking about getting the Aquarium 50. I looked it up, and it's like $40. Like, I used to pay $15 for those things when they were on sale. Now they're $40, so that shot that down. No hang-on backs for me. Not for the price they're asking for these days. No way, Jose. Caitlin says, I grew up showing dogs and knew a kid who had a border who had border terriers. Great dogs with kids. There you go. '55 was a super old brown wood look frame. Those old brown trim tanks. They still make those too. Like, you're not gonna find any at Petco, but you can order them with those ugly brown trims. I use Seachem titles. Will never buy Aqua Clears. I hate Aqua Clears. I thought I was the only one that hated Aqua Clears, but I can't stand them. The lid never fits. They always rattle eventually. I don't care how many times you clean out the impeller. If the impeller's not rattling, the lid is rattling. Always something with those things. Not a fan. Turns out it was tempered. Yeah. Well, that is one way to find out. All right, folks, I'm going to end it here. We have gone past the 2-hour mark, and that's a wrap. Cut, end, scene, fin, all of the above. So thanks, everyone, for hanging out. I appreciate it. Have any last-minute news? I don't think so. If you want to see updates on the fish room, the best place is going to be my Facebook group, which is just Steenfott Aquatics. If you're on Facebook, I do post updates there. And for whoever was asking earlier, I apologize. I don't remember. But otherwise, I will see everyone, I believe, the same time next week, right? Yeah. I got nothing for you. Me and my gold chain, we're going to go get some dinner. That's right. Gonna go get some dinner.